Hello, I was asked to do this video on how I got my 37 dead ends in blueprints by utilizing special mechanics that just aren't very well known. The general public does not know about this. Uh, so this video will quickly go over a lot of that, as well as a few things that have helped me along the way as well. This is going to be gameplay spoilers, not so much puzzle spoilers, but I will be talking about a lot of detailed things that I can exploit or have some sort of idea of exploit in some way. That being said, if you are not wanting to know any of that, please, this is your time to leave. Okay? Now, I wanted to start off first in game talking about this powered laundry. As you can see here, it took me a couple tries to get to this point to power this laundry. I did have to go through a weight room, so half my stuff is gone. And I don't really have anything up here. I opted not to pick my allowance up, even though I want to. Just to try and help demonstrate how broken powered laundry actually is. We'll see how it is in practice. Yeah. So, I'm going to want resources right now. A lot of resources. Let's start off with cannot bunk bed. Boudoir has 2 reroll dice. We will take the reroll dice. Okay. So, the blessing of the high roller is simply every time you drop a shop room, gain 1 dice, and every time you use a dice, you get 5 points. Now, this with powered laundry allows you to turn keys into dice, and money into keys as well. So you can start getting really good here. I'm not sure exactly what I'm looking for, but the commissary will give me a dice for dropping a shop. I have 25 coins, so I'll exchange that. This is obviously easier if I were to use more of my permanent materials. That allowance on this table would have been nice. But let's see how broken we can get it. I want to eventually swap out things, but let's try and make some money. Once you get enough money, we can start re-rolling a lot. First things first, we'll try swapping this. And gaining dice now. This will increase my points. Lower ranks, it doesn't matter too much about keys. Things are unlocked. So it's not too bad. It's kind of scary, so if we get a utility cost here, we'll probably just take it. But if not, we'll just go forward, I guess. This will give me gems eventually. This will, so as you can see, I have 39 points. That's really strong. Let's make sure I can. I started the day with. Let's see if we can get. We already have one security door. We're gonna swap keys, and then we'll eventually get enough money to swap keys and dice. For this one, I will go with green room, I guess. It doesn't really matter. Maybe shop would have been better. Shop would have given me a dice at least. We get dice regardless. And let's see if we can. This is actually a really good dining room, so we'll take it. But I do want to start making money. Good. Swapping this will give me more dice. Okay, with this, I am wanting to get a shop. Yeah. So we'll work on getting a shop. We'll put it in this corner here. Wait, I can't do a shop yet. I'll work this out later. We'll just make our money first, and then we'll go from there. Locksmith easily helps me a lot with this. So as you can see here, money's getting easy. Money's basically free. I'm going to take this, because I know it's a... I kind of want to make sure I can get out of here, so we're gonna go through the dining room. We're gonna get some steps. And again, let's break our box here. And that'll allow us to with that key card in the weight room. And we can set this key card to high now. Okay, let's get our dice back. So we'll exchange dice for keys. We'll exchange keys. Here. We'll exchange back the dice. As you can see here, money gets very easy. Money's really free. And with the 6 coins, I can just buy gems in the commissary if I so desire. We're gonna go here though. We're gonna just get our way out of here. We'll probably do a parlor, hard to guess. Seems the smartest thing to get out of here. We'll do it like this. You're going to swap keys and gem. We are going to re-roll at least once in the next round. Then we'll swap steps and gems. Gems are in white box, gems in black box, sure. We'll make sure it goes in that direction. That would work perfectly here. And we'll just do some swap schemes with our gems and our steps. Really start abusing this gems steps thing, you know? We're not worried at all. Anyway, let's conclude here. This is extremely broken. How you use powered laundry. This is basically from nothing. I can go anywhere I want from here on out with 56 dice, with as much money as I want, as much currency as I can get. I can draft anything I want. This is very strong, very easy. I did not use any allowance. I could have gotten here anytime. Anyway, let us continue talking about other things. The next thing I was going to look at was just watching my video. So obviously I had a very specific plan going into this. My initial steps were to gain ivory dice off the side to more or less guarantee aquarium powered laundry. This run immediately gave me that. I didn't have to reroll dice or anything. It's kind of insane. Anyway, the previous day had a lot of setup going on. It gave me all that money, all that gems, and I freezered it. I also did, what is it? I did my tomorrow rooms. I did my clock tower. I did my morning rooms. I did my break rooms. Anything that would give me extra keys starting this day off. This will allow me to make this trade with gems and, with dice and keys immediately. Because as you could see before, I always needed 5 keys to swap back the dice and dice and keys right after swapping money and keys. This is boring. This is just a specific orientation for security. Um, that which happens at 4 minutes or so. And the next thing I'm doing here, I'm waiting for a specific experiment. I am trying to get this specific experiment to gain and deplete as much items in the item pool as possible. This is a whenever you draw a drawing room, you can gain an item. It'll set your money to it'll set your keys to 0. So I'm gonna do this 20 about 20 times, 20 times on average. It will be a little bit less, but 20 will guarantee it. To help me further this, I did opt to use Code Check with Chronograph to speed that up. Anyway, that is what I was doing here, getting all these items out of the item pool. This is useful later when I have to go through the trading post, the very end. So this isn't as important now, it is very important later. And I make sure to pause the experiment after, because if I continue to see the drawing room, it would continuously set my keys to 0, which is kind of annoying. Yeah. That's what I did there. Just did a constant bunch of rerolls. Special thing to note about Chamber of Mirrors, as you see later on, I can access both sides of the Chamber of Mirrors if I access it from both sides. So that's why the foundation is there. That's why I'm doing. And frankly, I'm just putting terrace here to make the map look nice, to pair with the eventual greenhouse on the opposite side. That's just aesthetic. There's no rhyme or reason. I can place any dead ends as I want. I have infinite rerolls to do so. Okay. This could be anything. I also... Okay, so something important to note here, specifically in this location. If you noticed, this door was unlocked. I opened this immediately. So, the foundation was locked. The electric eel aquarium was locked. This one was not locked. There is a mechanic going on here. A mechanic regarding locked doors. This is very important later on, but I'm going to use this very shortly in the run. Basically, each of these rooms in this on the grid has a chance of being locked. Where I was drafting has a 130% chance of being locked. Why it is unlocked is because of this bias value. Basically, this is way above my pay grade, but every time you touch a locked door, it'll, generally speaking, lower your bias until you get to a point of the game giving you a free unlocked door. And then it'll reset the bias, and you will once again have a locked door as your next touch. Very important because I need very specific doors, as you see on this spreadsheet here. I need very specific doors to be locked for these rooms to be bunk beds. I need them to be locked. I need to use Prism Keys to do so. Prism Keys are not the only way to do this, as you can see with the passage on this side. But to do this, to access these prismatic lists, I do need to do so. Anyway, so you'll see me reroll specifically for addicts. That is to get the last item that would block me from getting prism key generation. And that is a very common item from the attic. I got almost all the items out of the draft pool, item pool, so there will only be a few items here, which is great. So yeah. I believe, yeah, I drafted here, and yeah, I do get Secret Garden Key. That's exactly what I was looking for. And because I depleted the item pool, all the rest of the items are all the common items, the coins, the keys, the gems. There's no special items because I depleted the item pool. That's good to see. Since that last door was locked, unlocked, this door will be locked because of that bias that I talked about. That will be one of the buckets. I'm basically continuing on. Here didn't even need a key, so like getting kind of lucky in some regards. This one had to be Cloister. It didn't have to be Cloister of Mila specifically, but Cloister of Mila paired with Servant's Quarter is something I needed to access. But right now I am building up my skeleton, my framework for the map that I have to build. So this has to be a boudoir facing upwards, which is very likely with the compass helping me. But yeah. Because that will also be a bump, as we'll see later on. Anyway, this is just me building up the frameworks. Nothing too important here. This one I had trouble getting the aquarium facing the right way. And here I was checking to see if I could reset my bias to make sure all the rooms adjacent to this electric eel aquarium on the top are locked. I need to make sure once again that all these doors are locked for Prism Key. Now, let's move forward. Nothing else is important here. I am actually gaining Sanctum Keys. This is what I'm doing. Opening the room 46 just to get the Sanctum Key. Sanctum Keys are very good material in the trading post, and I wanted to make sure that if I ever get an upgrade disc, it's getting blocked as well. But with the item pool that I have, since I have basically all the items, it's a bit superfluous. It's not necessary, it's extra, but it's the thing. It's security measures for me. So I went here to reset. Yeah, that I went there to make sure it's locked. That's what is going on inside. My first prism key was over there with that. So over here with this servant's quarter, connected to the cluster of Mila. I didn't even know that I was lacking a shovel, by the way. Here, it's just like, oh, it's a thing. Huh? But since I got a prism key, I need to use it. But I need to deplete the prism key. Let's talk about that now, actually. So, Prism keys have a very specific thing. It will first go to what you have. What rooms are in the pool. This is the free exits, this is the gem exit here. This is just a list of pools. Once parts get depleted, once things start failing because we cannot, the list cannot fulfill that using these free exits and gem exits, it'll start going into the prismatic pool. The prismatic pool has bunk rooms in many of them. So the bunk rooms aren't in every list. In the corner list, it is not. There's no prismatic list. For example, for north-south edge, no prismatic list. So it's never going to default to an extra bunk room. It's only going to default to whatever is in the pool already. Now this, if it is completely empty, then you will see the default list. And the default list is bedroom, boudoir, guest bedroom. If the exit lists are completely empty, these three will show up. But if there's access to a prismatic pool in any one of those, then it can access these extra bunk rooms. That's what I'm using here. So you got a north-south pierce that is going north into this area. So B2, B4, north. That's the north-south pierce. And also down here, this is... No, wait, that's B8. Yeah, B8, D8, and B2, D2 going down. That's south. Yeah. Sorry, mixed that up. That's my fault. Mistakes are going to be left in here, by the way. West edge is going up the west edge. West edge. East edge is opposite, of course. North-south edges as well, going up above the 9th rank and 1st rank, going back and forth. All those are possible. And as you could see later on, you get some really weird locations for things in the prismatic pool. I saw Ladyship's Chamber in the west edge going north, which we normally cannot. And we also saw it in the Pierce, the East Wing Pierce. That is very much not where you'd normally see it. But anyway, my entire goal was to place a boudoir right here, so one of the slots would fail. And when this slot fails, then it would default to the prismatic pool. It would access this prismatic pool. That is everything I was trying to do here. Boudoir was chosen because bedroom has 2 because of mirror room. I would have to place 2 bedrooms to deplete it. Mage Chamber is also in here. If you recall, I'll show this later, but Mage Chamber and bedroom are the last 2 bedrooms that have any way of actually naturally spawning in the locations. So these 2 are always in the list because they are always in the exit list. But yeah, because we placed a boudoir, it is not going to show up later on. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm placing my master bedrooms and I'm placing my guest bedrooms right here. in this moment. I got my prism key from the servants' quarter, and now I'm placing these now. And if you noticed here, the master bedroom both of them did have the allowance token more dry, which is pretty fun. I do believe that's everything, but let's see in practice. Oh, placing these bunkers. So this is the last Geist bedroom that I placed. Now every exit is blocked off. So now when I use the prism key, it shows exactly one bedroom, one maze chamber, and one other room. The other room is all the rooms in the prismatic list that I showed before. And not every list does have a bunk room, as you saw in that Reddit post. I will post a bunch of this in the description. You guys can watch, look, and read up on this yourself. It's more detailed than I can possibly give, but everything is set right now because I made sure all the doors are locked. And well, one of the doors might be unlocked right now. I might be heading to unlock or to make sure that door is locked later on. But yeah, I have very specific setups here. I want spare secret passages. These are just the most efficient locations for them. I absolutely accidentally rolled over that. I kind of got into the habit of just redrawing a hell of a lot for what I wanted. That's a me problem. But you'll see me go later on to getting the rest of my prismatic keys. This one didn't matter what it was. I just chose red to aesthetically match the rest of the red rooms on that rank. Just me being choosy, which you can do when you're at 2,000 dice. You can do that. And of course, our greenhouse. Greenhouse and power hammer. This is the setup to getting an extra dead end. Normally, this would not be a thing I do. I was absolutely thrown by the way that there was no extra items in here. I think it's just extra dig spots was probably what it was. Maybe. I only see 3 dig spots. I don't know. It's a pretty bad room right there. That's for sure. But I am digging for the 2 remaining rooms that have prismatic keys inside the house, the locksmith and the planetarium. I have upgraded the planetarium to have a prismatic key, which you can do if you use a telescope in there 5 times. 5 times. This is guaranteed to be a prismatic key, or prism key, because I have all the other keys. I have the silver key, I have the street garden key, it's going to be the prism key. I don't really have much more to add, so yeah, I guess I don't have much to add. Let's see me go through the prismatic lists again, each of these rooms. You notice here that I have to mouse over the prism key several times to make sure that it is purple. Which you can do here. This is a very weird leadership chamber, that's for sure. threw me off. Yeah. It's just re-rolling for bunk rooms. Getting as many bunk rooms as I possibly can. I don't even need steps. I don't know why I pick things up, but it's there. Sometimes I can ignore the metal detector, other times I can't. It's just a thing. But yeah, I use the prism key, so now I can generate a new prism key now that I utilized it. If I didn't do this with my prism keys, then the next generation, the next item generation would just skip over it. It would be a general key, it would be a basic key, it would be maybe a special other key, but it will not be a prism key. That's what's important. So yeah, I'm generating my planetarium here, and then I'm gonna have to do trading post for the last prism key, and place the last two rooms. I don't know why I left them for last, but they were. Again, don't have to do any of this. I live in a world where I have infinite resources, infinite anything. So, why I pick things up? Habit, desire, greed, all that and more. And yeah. For the trading post, I know that it's going to be a T4 trade. There are things. I knew I was going to make a go to the trading post, so I got the Sanctum Key now. Yeah. Previously made sure all these doors were locked, so... Yeah. Go. If I'm taking my time at moments, it's because I'm talking to people on Discord. That is absolutely what is happening there. I have also set it up so all the bunk rooms are on the same two ranks. I just like that aesthetically. I could have very much aesthetically placed a lot of these rooms. Again, you have free reign to do pretty much anything. You do have to place very specific rooms at certain times, but free reign otherwise. These prism keys. If there is another way to generate a prism key, then I could maybe do some more shenanigans, but I don't know of any way to do so. Something that was suggested to me in Discord later was that I could seriously just place two two shops, which would be the aquarium and the laundry, and I could straight up double my allowance, double my money 256 times using the bunk bed, doubling money. And I would do that utilizing extra secret passageways, secret passages. And secret passages would be great. I could access one extra prismatic pool bunk bed that I didn't go for this time. And truthfully, I couldn't. the reason I couldn't is because it's the north-south piers, and the trade-off is that you cannot access the corner. That's a very huge trade-off. I cannot figure out how to do that. I don't think you can, to be honest. I don't think the trade-off's there. I don't know, man. Anyway, perhaps there is a more streamlined method to squeeze out another bunk bed somehow. I don't know how. Yeah, yeah, it would be interesting to see if this ever gets beat. If this record of 37 dead ends ever gets beat. But yeah, that's all the things going on in here. There will be links in the description. There will be timestamps for some of the things that I talk about. I'm mostly rambling, so it's going to be very generic. But yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.